God sets a great banquet for us. Well, for somebody from Louisiana, that's usually a springtime crawfish boil, where we have a table covered with yesterday's newspapers and piles of boiled crawfish. Yeah, I know. One of the most wonderful experiences. It's not a meal, although you eat. It's not a meal. It's an event. And all good meals, all good banquets are events. They're not just about eating. Right? If they were just about eating, we would just eat and not talk to anybody. But a crawfish boil might last for hours. I remember at my nephew's wedding, we had a crawfish boil to celebrate the wedding. And I didn't know that I could eat that many crawfish. But I sat there for hours, and people kept coming by, and I would, meet people that I hadn't seen in a long time, and we'd just be sitting there talking and eating crawfish, and by the time it was over, I was like this. That's what a meal should be. That's what a banquet is. That's what God has in store for us. This great banquet. And if you look back over your lives and you see the people that were part of your life, and you see the events and the instances, the moments, those are all part of a great banquet. Think about it symbolically. Those are all part of a great banquet that God has set for you. And if you can look back over your life with gratitude for all that God has given you, gratitude, that's all God wants. Just for you to say, thank you. Thank you. A lot of people are afraid to ask God for things, thinking that they don't deserve it, thinking that God may be angry with them and won't give it to them. Well, God doesn't. Does God give you everything you ask for? No. I asked to win the Florida lottery and did not win. God was smarter than me. I wouldn't be here today if I'd won the lottery, right? Okay, so the thing goes on and says, the table is set in front of my enemies. So let's think about that for a moment, because not only are there wonderful people around us at this banquet, but there are not so wonderful people, or not so wonderful characters around the banquet table with us. See, when we come before God, and God is lavish in the way that He deals with us, we bring our bad little friends along with us. Or their ugly faces pop up from time to time. Anger, unforgiveness, fear. Fear is a big one in people's lives. And it can sometimes be the enemy of appreciating the banquet that God is giving for us. So, God is offering me something wonderful here. And my response sometimes is, but what if it doesn't work out? So right there, I'm putting an obstacle in the way to what God is doing for me. What if I fail? You're supposed to fail. That's one of the big lessons in life. It's okay to fail, because you have something to learn from that. And you go on and you do something better than what you had planned and you failed at. So it's important that we don't let those little enemies that come to the banquet table as well take advantage of us. They're like the boogeyman. And so I'm going to ask you to think about, who is your boogeyman? What's your boogeyman? You know what the boogeyman is, right? It's a scary one. Who's your boogeyman? For me, growing up, it was always, I'm not good enough. That was foundational to my life. I mean, that just has always been a part of me and will always be a part of me. And I have to constantly fight against it. You will not be good enough. I don't know where that came from. A lot of women grow up with that. It's your boogeyman. Are you ready to let it go and to let God celebrate you? Are you ready to put that boogeyman to bed and to say, God has something wonderful planned for me? And I might only have one more day of life. I don't care. God's going to do something wonderful for me in that one day. And I don't have to worry about the rest of it. But if I give in to my fears, if I give in to my boogeyman, I'm going to not be able to experience the wonder that God is doing for me. And each one of us has to figure that out for ourselves in our own lives. What's keeping me from growing? What's keeping me from getting closer to God? Is it fear? Is it something that I did, 30 years ago that I'm still ashamed of? And God might say, don't you think it's time to put that burden down and move on now? I'm not making this up. I have had women come to me, and men, but this is a women's retreat, so I'll talk about women, come to me with things they did 30 years ago that is still a burden to them. And my response is always the same. Well, you can continue to carry that if you want. But God may be asking you to set it down. You ever think about that? That God maybe doesn't want you to carry that burden any longer? Can you just put it down and let it be? For some reason, women have a very hard time to do that. Maybe because of the nurturing instinct. I don't know. Maybe it's because that they're a lot more heart people than head people. Men are stupid. They're idea people. Women are heart people. And it could be that God is saying to you, just put that burden down. You know that old song, that old spiritual, I think it is. Lay my burden down. Help me to lay my burden down, Lord. Lay that burden down. It's not doing you any good, is it? But you can carry it around if you want to. God is saying to you, you can carry it around if you want to. But I'm inviting you to say, can you be free of it? Can you be free of all that stuff that's kept you down? There was a young woman who came to me who was she was an undertaker. Only she wasn't an undertaker yet. She had failed her boards. But she had gone through all the training, and she had failed her boards like 3 times. And she came to me on retreat, and she was just devastated. And she was thinking, maybe this is not what I'm supposed to do. I'm stupid. I'm blah, blah, blah. And she kept going on and on. And I said, look, Annabelle, you know the material. You just spent 4 years studying this stuff. Don't let the test trip you up. You know the material. Have some confidence in yourself. She passed it the next time she took it. Because she didn't let that boogeyman of fear of failure get the best of her. She's now a practicing undertaker. Why a young woman, beautiful young woman, would want to be an undertaker is beyond me, but she does. So we have to know that there's always going to be something that's trying to keep us from growing. That's going to try to keep us from moving forward. Sometimes it's our own boogeyman, and sometimes it's something that society places upon us, and sometimes it comes from the devil, and it can come from anywhere. You've got to be able to recognize those people, see, so that you can kick them out of away from the table and sit down and enjoy your crawfish.